Hi everybody, bear with me a few minutes. I'm going to invite our brilliant Data Duopoly team to our Instagram live. Just hold for a moment. Okay, invite two brilliant entrepreneurs in now, so just bear with us. Here we are. Here's Tanuvi. Hi, Tanuvi. Then there's Erin as well. How are you doing,
Hi.
Erin?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. You guys can hear me and see me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. And you've got some sunshine as well, Nikki.
I have. I found the sunniest spot in the house, but I had to put my headphones in because the birds are making a right racket. So, but big thank you. If anyone's tuning in, give us a little reaction or a thumbs up. Let us know you can hear us all right. But very, very warm welcome to Tanuvi and Erin from Data Duopoly this afternoon. International Women's Day, which obviously is a very sunny one from here in sunny Cornwall. Really, really pleased to have you both here joining me today. We're going to cover a little bit about International Women's Day, but also Data Duopoly and kind of what you guys do, how you got to where you are today, some of that startup journey, and a few insights as well. But why don't we start with you guys introducing yourselves? In fact, I should probably do a quick intro of me. So I'm Niki Davies, for anyone who doesn't know. I'm part of the team here at Software Cornwall, and today we are celebrating International Women's Day and helping amplify the voices of two brilliant female founders that we have here in our county, which I'm really excited to have you both here. So, Tanuvi, why don't you give us a quick bit of background on you, and then Erin, and then kind of how you met and the Data Duopoly story?
That's great. So my name's Tanuvi Ethunandan. I'm the CEO and co-founder, along with Erin Morris, of Data Duopoly, and we're on a mission to revolutionize the visitor experience in any venue worldwide. A little bit of background about myself. I used to be an accountant, all very exciting stuff, at Ernst & Young in London. I graduated from Cambridge University, having read economics, and then found myself in the tech sector, which has been a really exciting journey. And there I met Erin Morris at the Launchpad program, and we started the company together.
Brilliant. Thanks, Tanuvi. And Erin, how did you, what led you to Launchpad? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I studied animation and visual effects at Falmouth University, made a final film in my final year and went and travelled around to different film festivals, went to Miami, won the short film competition out there, came back to Cornwall. I knew I wanted to stay in Cornwall, but wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. Do I want to go into animation? Do I want to go into design? And then that's when I stumbled across Launchpad, really. And I thought, well, why not give it a go? I've never thought about running my own business before or being in the tech sector like that. But I thought, give it a go and see if I can learn some new skills. And yeah, that's where I met Tanuvi. And 2.5 years later, here we are.
Brilliant. So, for anyone who doesn't know, what is Launchpad?
Well, Launchpad's actually a tech incubator program based down the Southwest, partnered with Falmouth University. And it was really exciting because they took people from a variety of skill sets. So myself from a data-driven financial background, Erin very creative, and they take software developers and technical expertise. And they put people together who might have not known each other before and give them industry challenges with the aim of setting up scalable tech businesses. So it's a really exciting program that's quite fast-paced, and you meet some absolutely phenomenal people on the journey.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's really cool. And so how does it work? So is it day one of Launchpad? You kind of get to know people, presumably you don't know anybody, or do they pair you with a problem or a potential client, or do they pair you with each other? What does that process look like?
Yeah, so when you start off, they sort of have a day for you to get used to the people that you're on the cohort with, and then from there, it has changed slightly from when we started. So I think the program is slightly different, but was our experience. Yeah, we sort of got to know each other on the first day, and then the second day, they partner you up into your teams of 4 normally. And that's based on all your skill sets. So it's not based a bit on personality, but based on, like, for example, I was the creative one, Tanuvi's accountant business. We had a programmer in there as well, and also a designer. So it was really nice to have a real range of people. And from there, that's when you get partnered up with your industry partners. So we were partnered up with 2 industry partners, and we had 1 wild card. So our first industry partner was the Eden Project, and obviously that's where our idea was born from. And we also had another challenge which was based within the HR departments within another company based locally. So it was really, really exciting to sort of get going, and then that's where the journey was born, really.
Amazing. Okay, so Data Duopoly then. So Eden Project was kind of your first client. What were you doing for them, and how does the technology work?
So that was really exciting. We were really solving the problem about before COVID, but actually we just hated queuing on our day out.
That's fair enough.
We've all been there. We go to the visitor center, we get the paper map, and then we think, where do we go? We follow the sign that says turn left, and we see the same set of people in front of us for a whole day out, and we feel frustrated with the bottlenecks and queues. So we thought there must be a better way to do this. And we knew that everyone loves a digital experience on their phone, but they want something that complements the physical one. So Explore was born, and really the idea was to provide venues with an ability to track where people are using data, use those data insights to help with their long-term planning, but at the same time to democratize the information sharing process. So visitors get value for the data, they get an engaging experience, and they actually get unique offers to say, by the way, did you know this area is really busy? Why don't you go somewhere else? And one fantastic thing with the Eden Project during our pilot, we let people know who were within a 5-minute walking radius that there was a great freaky fungus talk happening in the core building. And one of the narrators later came up to say to us, it was one of the most well-attended talks. And that's a great way of just saying little nudges can shift people away from the busy areas and actually help them make the most of their day out.
That's brilliant. Okay, so you're basically using GPS data to kind of manage crowds, and presumably with COVID, this kind of came into its own.
Yeah, definitely. I think before it was something that would have been nice to have for a venue, but I think actually the necessity has now come about that actually they do need to monitor where people are and make sure there aren't really lots and lots of hotspots going on. So we built out 2 new features. So the first feature is our crowd tracker, and that basically just uses all the underlying data that we're already collecting, but it just shows it in a really visual form on the app. So they can say actually that area's it's showing up red, it's super busy, or it's really quiet, it's showing up as green. Why don't you have a visit now? And then the next other feature was our COVID reporter feature. So that's basically it's just an added extra onto the COVID tracing app that the NHS already provide. And they can just notify the venue themselves if they started to get symptoms or they've come into contact with someone. So it just gives the venue basically an extra layer of protection to ensure that they can stay open for as long as possible without having to shut or anything like that.
Brilliant. Okay, so you're working with the Eden Project. Who else are you working with? And you know, presumably you've got to that point where you founded in 2018. Is that right?
Yes.
Or met 2018?
Met in 2018. We
Okay.
incorporated in 2019. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay. So, and you've had kind of grant funding. So this is something that actually you can go to the Eden Project and use now. Who else are you working with? Are they Cornwall based? Are they UK based?
So we're actually really working with the National Trust Cornerstone Coat Partnership, which is absolutely fantastic. And we're linking 3 World Heritage mining sites together, Giva, Levant and Botalic, and really working with the local community as well to say, actually, if you have a local pub and you know visitors are in the area, but you're quite quiet, maybe you can send an offer to the people on the Southwest Trail, Southwest Coastal Path, say, why don't you come in and maybe get a half-price pint if you buy some fish and chips? And that's a great way really to bring the community together and help everyone benefit from tourism in the area.
Brilliant. Yeah, I really like that. So, yeah, it's kind of that added value that you don't really expect. But I think, to be honest, at the moment, anyone will go anywhere for a half price pint just to go and have a beer with somebody.
Exactly.
Excellent. Okay. Now that's really cool. So it's stemmed from Launchpad, and it's this sort of masters in entrepreneurship. And obviously you've both got massively different backgrounds. You've, you know, accountancy and creative. What actually made you think, well, yeah, actually, I want to go and explore what being an entrepreneur is like, and actually, you know, I can go and study this. What led you to that? And Tanuvi, I'll start with you.
Oh, well, actually, for me, it was very much, I almost felt I was on a fast track in the world of finance, sort of having read economics and then doing accountancy. But I always thought there was this really exciting sector in the tech world that I didn't immediately think there was a place for my skill set. And what the really great thing about being in the Southwest is such a warm and welcoming environment. Actually, I always wanted to start up my own business and didn't find the necessarily group of people in my social circle. So Launchpad was a great opportunity to come down, meet new people who are like-minded and want to start up a business, and actually have a year that's funded to really focus on the business. And I think that's a really great opportunity. So it always came about that something I wanted to do, and I just didn't have the catalyst, and this was it, which was fantastic.
Brilliant. Erin, what about yourself?
I'd say I was slightly different to Tanuvi. I don't think I ever had that longing to have my own business. I say that's something that I've grown now to have. And now that we have got it and we've got Data Duopoly, it's really, really brilliant. I think for me, it was more about wanted to open up my skill set. So I knew what I could do, but I actually thought, what other applications can I put my skills to? Or can I learn a bit more about myself and learn a bit more about other people, and how, I can actually utilize my skill sets in a way that's going to benefit others, or to, really grow my career. And I think that was, for me, was a really exciting thing, to sort of open up the network in Cornwall, especially, to understand, what's actually going on more. So yeah, it's been really good.
Okay. So did you both, if you cast your mind back to when you're maybe selecting GCSEs, and did you think actually my future career is going to be in tech, or has that come as a bit of a, okay, actually, this might not be, I'm not coding, but actually this is where I'm going to find myself?
Yeah, I think it's certainly not something I had on the radar at a very young age. I think as a radar, I probably wanted to be a princess or a vet, and then realized I couldn't quite cope with the sight of blood, so that quickly got ruled off. But I think actually, and when we're growing up, you see the big startup giants like Google, Facebook, and what they're doing. And you see the more exciting, like challenger banks as well, with Monzo and Revolut. And you think, how can I be part of that community, this really exciting, dynamic tech community? So I don't think at GCSE or A levels, I was thinking, I'm picking these to have a tech startup. But I do think they set me up with skills that definitely benefit in the tech world. I think that's the great thing about the tech sector, is that they need people who have a financial background. They need people who have a creative background. And it's actually finding ways of using your existing skill sets to bring it to the sector and be a value add and actually bring your own perspective to it. And that's the absolutely really exciting thing about the tech world. It's so dynamic and agile.
Yeah, it's interesting. Erin, what about you?
Well, I always wanted to do animation, so I wanted to be partly like using technology and using like how I can use my computer skills and drawing skills and creative skills all together. But I would definitely say it was never something that I thought about actively. Oh, I want to go into the tech sector. That's what I want to do. But then I think now, because tech is such a massive part of everyone's lives, everyone's more aware of it. So I don't know if when we were at school, or previous generations were at school, it wasn't something that was there, so it wasn't as known about. Whereas now, I think everyone, a teenager, 12-year-old, they have a phone, they have a laptop, they have all of this sort of stuff. So actually, it's more ingrained in the way of life. So I think actually the opportunities now that are popping up, I think everyone's going to take them up really quickly.
Interesting, because there's certainly a void in just talking to Software Cornwall members of actually getting people with the right skill mix to fill some of the technical roles in companies. But sometimes it's important to you sometimes feel like an imposter as somebody in tech, if you're not the techie person, but actually there's so many supporting roles. And you both have proved that actually you still need creativity. You need a financial brain. You need marketing, HR. You need someone who's great with people, someone who can go and tell the story of a tech company. But actually, these are important roles in tech that are often overlooked or felt that maybe you're not sort of part of it if actually you're not writing code. But it's like you must, code, create a product, but you've still got to tell people about it, and you've still got to get other people on board to join you, and you've still got to attract investment, and all those require huge skill sets. So it's really interesting to hear your backgrounds, and you both come from two completely different industries as well. And I just think, wow, here we are today. Okay, so in startup world then, so you've been incorporated now for 2 years. What are some of the challenges you've sort of come across on that journey? Has it all been plain sailing and smooth, and you arrived today, and grants, or actually are there sort of bumps along the way?
I think we've definitely had some bumps. It was a steep learning curve at the beginning, I think, because neither of us had done any of this before. I think the first thing that we had to get used to was actually, we're going to have to hire a team. We need someone technical. We need someone to develop the product. We can have all the ideas and how we want it to work and how we want it to look, but we can't code. So we have to be able to work with developers or with a developer. So that was sort of our first big hurdle, I'd say. But as soon as we overcame that, it was like full steam ahead. Let's see what we can do. And just, that's how you learn, isn't it? By making mistakes and trying something that doesn't necessarily work. So I think from that point of view, it's been a few bumps, but we've been going okay.
That's good to hear. Tanuvi, do you agree?
Yeah, I agree. It certainly has been a roller coaster, but I think that's the exciting part of it, and it's great having a co-founder as well, because it means we can commiserate in the lows and celebrate in the highs, even if it's a virtual toast and a drink.
Yeah, it would be nice to get together, wouldn't it? But yeah, sometimes that clink of the screen is enough with a glass of something bubbly. What about advice that you've been given along the way? Have you had anything that's made you kind of really go, I wish somebody had told me that 2 years ago, or it might have saved me this? And quite the opposite. If you had any terrible advice that you thought either we've tried that and it was a complete disaster, or just kind of said, well, I'll take that with a pinch of salt and avoid it completely.
I think we've certainly had our fair share. I think a really positive thing that probably isn't so relevant for the startup, but something my dad always told me was the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I think that really has been true in setting up Data Duopoly. Just the more events you attend, the more networking sessions you attend, the more people you meet, and you just never know when someone might actually say, make that perfect introduction, or actually join you on your journey as an angel investor. So I think just showing up has been a fantastic sort of piece of advice, because you just never know who you're going to meet. I think we had a certainly interesting experience. I think, being a young business, bootstrapping a company full of passion and get-go, I think we had to do an exhibition back in February 2020, an amazing one in the Olympia sort of London Hall. And we got up, I think, around 5 a.m., took the first Great Western train to London with all our exhibition stuff in tow. I don't think anyone's seen anything more ludicrous. 2 women holding about 10 suitcases worth of promotional materials, annoying every Uber driver in London to finally get to the stadium and set up. I think we finally finished past midnight and then woke up the next day at 6 a.m. and did a full week of presentations from the get-go. And while we loved it, I remember we spoke to someone who said, I don't think you're working hard enough. You should just pay someone to do that. And actually, when that moment in time, we realized, yes, we are, and we're bootstrapping a company. So we don't quite have the luxury to do that.
Wow. So had they then made the assumption that there was sort of a team doing this, behind the back office that wasn't actually you guys, getting up at 5 a.m. and dragging kit halfway across the UK to actually be in Olympia?
I think they were under the impression that we would have had a team. I think I think when we said it was just us two, it really was just us two. So I think they were under the impression that there should maybe have been a team, or we weren't maybe at that stage yet. But it's, as we say, it's all a learning curve, and it was really enjoyable after. It was very tiring, but we really enjoyed it, and we got some great learning experiences out of it. So it's good.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's amazing the characters I suppose you meet along the way, and the assumptions that are made within those aren't always accurate. So it's important to sometimes challenge those. No, that's really interesting. Okay, so sort of being a woman in tech, or female founders, or however you may describe it, what's your sort of experience been? You mentioned earlier that coming through Launchpad and into the Southwest has actually been really amazing. You've had a lot of support. Has it been like that the whole time? Have there been times where you thought, I'm not sure about this, or you've received some of those assumptions, or has it been sort of amazing and actually you're sort of paving the way?
Yeah, so I think for us, we've been really lucky coming from the Southwest area. It's been really welcoming. I don't think we've ever experienced anything apart from the fact we're 2 female entrepreneurs, or 2 entrepreneurs, sorry, I'll say that without the gender recognition. But I do think sometimes when we go to slightly more national events, I wouldn't say anything that's picked upon, but it's just something we might notice, is that the way people might present themselves do differ. I think we tend to be quite quietly confident, and actually say, yes, we have got an MVP, we have got a lead investor, and this is where we are. Where potentially some counterparts might actually be a lot more confident, but have a lot less substance. And I think it's something we do notice, and maybe we should be stepping up and actually shouting about it a lot more. But I think for us, it's actually building those connections are really important. The people that need to know what's happening certainly do.
Yeah, that's really good. And that's probably good advice to somebody thinking of starting out, is that showing up piece that you've already demonstrated, and also having faith in your product and the journey that you've been on. Because I think there was a report from Hewlett Packard that even women applying for interviews feel that they should have 100% of the experience before they feel comfortable in applying. And actually, I think they said for men, 60% is about right, and then they'll apply. And it's just sort of that, and there'll be reasons by that. That's very on the face, data, but there'll be reasons underlying. And actually, I always thought that was quite an interesting statistic. And there you are, sort of, saying, look, we've got this MVP. Actually, we've got, we've had a company on board build this product. It's in venues now. We're using it. We've got customers. We should be here and comfortable enough to tell our story. And if there was, if you could go back, say 3 years before founding, is that something you would almost give advice to yourself? Like, what would you go back and tell yourselves in 3 years before, when you were beginning? Is there sort of something you wish you'd known, or something you wish you'd been able to tell yourself, your previous self?
I would just say go for it more. Like, don't worry about, because the whole point, especially for joining Launchpad, the whole point is that you join because you don't know what you're doing. That's the whole reason why you get partnered with people, and you learn all your skills, and you develop your confidence, and you develop, the business know-how. That's why you do your entrepreneurship, master in entrepreneurship. So I would say don't worry about it. Like, you're not supposed to know everything straight away, and that is, as I said before, that's how you learn, and that's how you improve, and that's how you make the company the best that it can be, by making those little mistakes along the way. So yeah, that's what I would say to myself.
Yeah, that's good advice. Tanuvi, how about you? Anything you'd wish you could go back and tell your 3 years ago self?
I think just have the confidence in yourself and the product and the company, and just have a go, like Erin said. I think, what is it? Fail often and fail little, rather than sort of taking the big plunge and then seeking feedback right at the end. And I think that's sort of been our motto as we go along: keep the stakes low and just constantly keep iterating and learning as we go along to make ourselves and the company better.
Yeah, I think that's really, really great advice. And kind of for anyone thinking of starting out, and whether they're thinking going down the Launchpad route, or just starting a side hustle, a a full-time job, whatever their entry into running a company might be, it's that don't be afraid to try. And there's also a lovely graphic of if you try, you might fail 10 times, but if you don't try at all, you'll never fail, but you'll never even exceed. And I think sometimes it's important to remember that and try and move past the fear that might hold you back, because fear of failure is crippling. But actually, growth happens at point of challenging yourself. And like you both sort of said, and clearly demonstrated, you've got this company, it's growing, it's successful, and actually, the proof is in the output that you guys have put in. So that's awesome, and good advice for anyone, thinking of kind of stepping into that role, really. Okay, what about kind of what's next, if you like, for Data Duopoly? So obviously you've got clients on board, you've got your MVP. Are you raising investment? Are you growing? What's on the horizon?
I'd say it's a really exciting time at Data Duopoly. It's all sort of happening at once. So we've had our COVID pivots that Erin was talking about earlier, but we've actually onboarded, we're working with Falmouth University with our new Explore campus offering, using our technology to help students and staff come to campus safely. Actually using our technology, letting people know that actually the library is really busy, but the Daphne du Maurier building might be quite quiet for private study if you'd like, which is really fantastic. And we've just closed our seed round, which is absolutely fantastic.
Congratulations! That's a big milestone.
And that has been supported by some fantastic organisations, including Aerospace Cornwall and the European Space Agency, and absolutely 4 fantastic angel investors who are joining our journey that can provide so much expertise as we scale and grow. And as mentioning scale and growing, we're actually currently hiring for 4 new recruits to join the fabulous team at Data Duopoly. So a senior developer, 2 junior developers, and a sales and marketing lead. So we would love anyone listening who think they might want to be part of a dynamic startup to find out more on our website.
Brilliant, that's really cool. We're going to get those roles onto the Software Cornwall site as well before the end of the week. So there's a link in our bio this way. I'm not sure where it is on people's screens. There's a link to the job board there. So you can also sign up to the Software Cornwall newsletter, and that will get you information on jobs when they come through. We send that out sort of monthly. But you guys will be sharing across your social media channels, and we will as well. And that's a good use, seed round and now growing teams. So you've been outsourcing tech. Is the plan to now actually start building your core team internally? And you need sort of, what roles are you looking for specifically?
So yes. For us, oh, sorry, Erin, go ahead.
No, you're fine, carry on. Don't worry. We've got the same answer, you're fine.
It has to happen. That's the one thing about not being in the same room.
I know.
Can't make it so a senior software developer, and that person really is to help shape the technical direction and strategy at Data Duopoly. So we really want someone to join our senior management team and really shape how we're going to grow the Explore product range in the future. Ideally a fun sort of full stack developer, but we've got the list of requirements on the website. And we're also looking to onboard 2 junior developers, and really we're after people with a passion for the product, exciting to learn, and willingness to join a startup and just get stuck in. And we're looking for a front-end developer, preferably with some experience in Xamarin, and a back-end developer, preferably with some experience with ASP.NET. But there'll be lots of learning opportunities on the job. And finally, a sales and marketing lead. And we are happy to offer flexible working. So we would love as many people as possible to apply. We're a really flexible company, and I think that's something that's very cool. And one of the great perks about working with us, you get your birthday off, if that's something of interest.
Nice.
Birthdays are an important thing in Data Duopoly. So someone really to help lead our sales and marketing strategy and reach out to new clients and really grow as we scale with us.
Excellent. Oh, that's really exciting. So yeah, so there's a growing team there, growing budding company out of Launchpad. And yeah, I'm so excited to see kind of where you guys go next. And presumably there's a client base also that's growing. I mean, you've worked with the EDA project, your National Trust as well. Who would be sort of your ideal client, or who would benefit most, who might be listening, from your technology?
So I think any venue realistically, but anywhere that has multiple exhibits within an area. So anywhere that has like a hotspot, so they might have a cafe or 2 cafes, and one of them gets really, really busy, and you know what time it gets busy, but you want to shift people around the site so it's sort of more spread out. So anywhere like that really, theme parks, attractions, nature reserves, anywhere that's got, maybe like a car park, and then it's got like the cafe, and it's got the adventure play area, that sort of thing. Anywhere like that really. Ideally, we'd love to work with someone like Merlin Entertainments. Just because that's got Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, places like that would just be perfect for us. But yeah, as we're a Southwest-based company, we really want to help people in the local area. So if there are any venues that are looking at sort of expanding their digital strategy, get in contact and we'll see what we can do.
Sounds good. Yeah, we certainly have a few hospitality spots in Cornwall. And if you need anyone to test it, I'm happy to go to Thorpe Park and Alton Towers and Legoland. I'll do that for you guys. Yeah, that sounds really, really great. Okay, and obviously today is International Women's Day. The theme today is Choose to Challenge. So it's worth noting that we have a lot of incredible women in tech and engineering and in the creative digital industries in Cornwall as well. If you are interested in finding out more, Tech Girls, who are a Cornish-based organisation run by Caitlin Gould, who's a director at Blue Fruit, one of the software houses here in Cornwall, has put together a wonderful video showcasing some of the women in tech in Cornwall. And we've popped that on our website. So again, look at the link in the blog, Linktree, wherever it may be. And there's a really great video. It's aimed at young boys and girls as well. So it's very friendly and explains a little bit more about what International Women's Day is and the theme, Choose to Challenge. And also on the Tech Girls blog is a really great spotlight series where actually you can go and meet some of the women in tech and find out their story. And some of the entries into tech, it's not just, yes, I've gone through and done a computer science degree. Some of the sideways steps and using some of the skills that Erin and Tanuvi today have shared, where they've actually found their forte in tech. So go and check those out as well. And another sort of nod to one of our partners, which I saw the news last week, Falmouth Launchpad have teamed up with Code First Girls, who are an incredible platform. And am I right in thinking you guys have both done a Code First Girls course at some point?
I'm not quite sure which course we did, but we did one at Falmouth University, so it might have been.
Yeah, so I think it's one of the HTML, CSS website courses, but they run free courses for young women. I think they're 18 to 23. Don't quote me on that. You may have to check out the website. But really, really great partnership, and that's Launchpad's commitment to also bringing in women in tech. So any any Falmouth University student can benefit from any of those courses as well. So please go and check those out at Falmouth Launchpad website. And finally, on the Software Cornwall site, you'll find a link to you can nominate a woman, any female, for the Women in Tech Excellence Awards. And this is an award ceremony that's been going for about 5 years, I think, run by Computing Magazine, and they've got HSBC on board as sponsors as well. So we've linked that again in the blog. Please go and take a look. If you know an incredible female who's working in engineering or tech, I know you do, because people tell us about these all the time. So yeah, please go and celebrate each other's wins and help sort of shine a light and showcase some of the awesome women in tech, not just Cornwall, but all over the world. So well, that's it from us today. I want to thank Tanuvi and Erin from Data Duopoly so much for joining me. It's really, really great to speak to you both, hear more about your journey, and I can't wait to see what's next for Data Duopoly, especially as your team grows, and maybe we'll get you back in a couple of months as you've got those new members, and we'll introduce them to the rest of the Software Cornwall community as well.
That sounds brilliant.
Great.
Thanks for having
us, Niki, and enjoy the sun as well.
I will. I might have to put my sunglasses on if I lean forward anymore. I'm getting completely blinded. But yeah, really great to talk to you both. And yeah, we'll be in touch again soon. And thanks everyone for tuning in.
That's great. Thank you.
Cheers
Bye.
then. Bye.